one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, and I initially got all my predictions correct, and I will admit to you they were bold predictions, but you almost knew and could foresee The Undertaker retaining the streak. It would have been stupid to have Degeneration X kill off the streak. Shawn Michaels did play a definite role in the outcome of the match, with a couple of super kicks and a couple of defining moments where he told The Undertaker not to give up. He super kicked The Undertaker and tried to assist Triple H in winning, but even with everything they hit The Undertaker with, he kept getting up, telling Triple H that vengeance would be his, and he got what he came to get at WrestleMania 28. He didn't get vengeance in Miami, so now it's going to be probably 6 to 8 months before we see The Undertaker again. I, for one, believe The Undertaker should compete before WrestleMania. I think that he should compete. If he competes once a year in one major angle, he should start competing around November and have the angle finish up at that year's WrestleMania. He shouldn't just show up at WrestleMania, give us one outstanding match, and that be it. Because fans watch professional wrestling for their favorites. If you're a fan of Shawn Michaels, you're watching the show for Shawn Michaels. If you're a fan of Triple H, you're watching the show for Triple H. If you're a fan of Batista, you're watching the show for Batista. If you're a fan of John Cena, you're watching the show for John Cena, and so on. See the pattern. If you're a fan of The Undertaker, you're watching the show for The Undertaker. So if they take The Undertaker away, you're going to lose the majority of your fans who began watching wrestling back in the early 90s because of this unstoppable phenom that everybody was talking about, The Undertaker. So you take away the biggest draw and you have nothing to look forward to. You have no excitement. It's just the same thing as killing off John Cena. If John Cena goes away for 8 or 9 months, WWE initially have to start making bigger stars, a bigger star than John Cena, which is going to be very hard to do because for the last 10 years, since '02, John Cena's been carrying the company. If you kill off the biggest draw, then you're not going to generate any cash flow, you're not going to generate any ratings, and you're not going to produce a entertainment valued product. I mean, The Undertaker was all about entertainment. I mean, the gimmick matches, everything from the casket matches, the buried alive matches, the DVDs, the t-shirts. It was all about an entertainment valued idea with The Undertaker, and it worked. Mark Calloway portrayed The Undertaker the best way he knew how, and he got over for doing it. I mean, the other characters he portrayed in companies like WCW, being known as the Skyscraper, didn't get over as well as The Undertaker. I mean, The Undertaker was the most successful entity that Mark Calloway portrayed. And the thing about him is, he did it so well. The Undertaker is an irreplaceable item in professional wrestling. Nobody will ever be able to duplicate The Undertaker gimmick the way that Mark Calloway did it. He's going to be often imitated by a lot of wrestlers, and a lot of wrestlers will portray their gimmick in the way of The Undertaker, but they're never going to be able to do it the way Mark Calloway did. Initially, I read a lot of reports The Undertaker would compete until he was physically unable to do so, and I see that being the possible way to go with this as well. If The Undertaker will compete until he's physically unable to do so, he should compete once a year at WrestleMania and give us this once a year unbelievable match. But in the same light, you can't always rely on people like Triple H and The Undertaker to come in once a year and give us an unbelievable performance that we'll talk about for the next 365 days. We know at this point The Undertaker and Triple H will be Match of the Year for 2012, because I would venture to say and make a bold prediction that no other match they're going to do for the remainder of the year will top The Undertaker versus Triple H End of an Era match at WrestleMania inside the Hell in a Cell. That was the first Hell in a Cell match we had seen at WrestleMania in years. So initially it had to live up to the hype, and if there was one match at WrestleMania last year that lived up to the hype, it was The Undertaker and Triple H. So I think that, definitely The Undertaker and Triple H need to compete again for everything they left us with at WrestleMania 28. To say this is it for The Undertaker would be kind of a sad type thing to have to visualize. I mean, thinking The Undertaker's career is over is kind of a wrong way of looking at it. I think we will see The Undertaker again. I mean, to say The Undertaker's career is over just because he ended an era doesn't mean that his career is over. Nowhere, at no point in time during his in-ring promos with Triple H or without Triple H leading in to WrestleMania, regardless if they were done live or they were pre-recorded segments, The Undertaker nowhere indicated that he was going to leave professional wrestling if he indeed lost at WrestleMania. No matter how much WWE put it across, that if the streak comes to an end, The Undertaker dies. Nowhere in any of his promos did he indicate that this was going to be it for him and he was going to be retiring. They just indicated during the commentary that it was indeed the end of an era. And it was, because you're never going to have another Undertaker and Triple H. When you rely on the Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the Undertaker, whatever match you put the Undertaker in at WrestleMania to be this unbelievable match that initially wins Match of the Year every year, like it will this year for 2012, I would venture to say, that indicates to me the company knows in the back of their minds they will never reproduce another Undertaker or Triple H. No matter how big John Cena gets, no matter how big we see Randy Orton get, to name a few of the new talent initiative stars, we will never have another Undertaker and Triple H produced. So I think the Undertaker and Triple H do need to compete again, because these superstars don't come through the doors every day of the WWE season. It's only every once in a lifetime, in the words of John Cena and The Rock, we get to see something like that. That is why I came on this radio show and said I believed The Undertaker was going to win at WrestleMania 28, and I referred to those who believed that Generation X was going to kill off The Undertaker's streak as idiots, and I referred to people who thought The Rock was going to lose at WrestleMania as idiots, because how many times are you presented with an opportunity to have people like The Rock and The Undertaker sell WrestleMania and help get the show over? We know no matter what happens at WrestleMania, the show is guaranteed to have over 1 million buys, but how many times in the run of a year do you get to have The Undertaker and The Rock get over? You had to look at it from a productive standpoint and what was going to sell the pay-per-view, to have The Undertaker's career end and that be it for The Undertaker that entire year with no finality put on the storyline. He just vanishes after he loses. Triple H comes out and cuts one promo in the way of The Rock after he beats John Cena. The Rock left us with a lot of unanswered questions. At least The Undertaker and Triple H indicated that the era was over and they could go away for 6 to 8 months and have the new talent initiative stars carry the company for the next 6 months, at least half of a year, 6 to 8 months. The Rock just comes out and says one day he'll be back to be WWE Champion, leaves us with a lot of unanswered questions, which means John Cena's epiphany that he had about The Rock leaving after WrestleMania proved it to be correct. Will we see The Rock again, I think, is the bigger question we need to be asking ourselves. I don't think we should be doubting that The Undertaker's career is over. I don't think we should be doubting that we'll never see Triple H compete again. I think that Triple H will be back because he's the COO of the company. He's going to have to come back and say something if things get out of hand between, let's say, CM Punk and John Laurinaitis, or something happens with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. That angle could blow so out of proportion with Cena and Lesnar, with how much heat and animosity there is between Cena and Lesnar, that Triple H might have to come back and exert his authority. We might have to see The Undertaker come back to give us this Brock Lesnar match that's been rumored for WrestleMania 29 or 30. I think we're going to see these wrestlers come back because we're going to have that kind of presence with the new talent initiative stars. When you have so many new talent initiative stars coming through the doors of WWE every day, most recently Lord Tensa, former WWE superstar Albert, and a lot of new talent initiative stars we're seeing come through the doors every single day, you need that kind of legendary presence that you get all the time from Triple H and The Undertaker, and without it, you have a product that has a lot of new talent initiative stars, but who are they learning from? Who is the guy that's going to teach these superstars how to portray their gimmicks, how to get storylines and angles over? Without The Undertaker and Triple H there, you're losing out on a lot of fantastic opportunities. I mean, Triple H, let's say in 2010, helped a lot of new talent initiative stars. He helped Carlito, Chris Masters, back as far as 2006, and in 2010 he was feuding with the likes of Sheamus. So he did help a lot of new talent initiative stars back in the last few years of his career when he was competing on a regular basis. If he were to come back, I mean, who's to say he's not going to feud with other new talent initiative stars? There are so many incredible new talent initiative stars like Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler, who I can never put over enough as two of the hottest young talents in WWE that Triple H could work with and get over. On tour, when they were doing the WrestleMania tour for states like New York, Triple H was in tag team action against the likes of Swagger and Ziggler. So Triple H was and is still continuing to put over new talent initiative stars, and with so many new talents being produced by WWE, you need that kind of presence. It's just Triple H decides to take 6 to 8 months off TV after he lost control of Raw. That was pretty much it. Had a little feud with Kevin Nash to promote WWE 12, and he goes away, and he comes back for WrestleMania, has this match with Triple H. It's a phenomenal match, one of the best Hell in a Cell matches that of some odd 17 or 18 we have seen over the last decade, and it's very deserving of being match of the year. I can never give The Undertaker and Triple H enough props for giving us this incredible performance they did. I mean, move for move, hold for hold, near fall for near fall, close call for close call. This was a 5-star match on all levels, and it lived up to the expectation. And if there was a radio show host or a columnist out there that is criticizing the performance that Triple H and The Undertaker gave us this year at WrestleMania, you are a fucking idiot. You're a piece of shit. Because you do not have respect for The Undertaker and Triple H for what they did. They did a lot. They really gave us the best match at WrestleMania. I mean, The Rock and John Cena was a good match, but it had a lot of cons. There were a lot of things in that match that really stood out to me that could have been better. I mean, the finish of the match, Cena going for the people's elbow, an incredible superstar like John Cena. Did he need to lose to The Rock by giving The Rock his own maneuver? You know, did arrogance need to get in the way there? Did we need to see as many rock bottoms and FUs as we did? I mean, the emphasis was already on the match enough. It was the biggest match of the last 10 years. It was the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for John Cena and The Rock. The Rock had the opportunity to go down in history as being one of the greatest of all time, defeating 3 decades of the top superstars in the wrestling business. Nobody had ever done that before. Cena had the opportunity to defeat The Rock, the biggest of all time at WrestleMania, a match he believed he had to win. We had the emphasis on the match. Did we have to go as far as to see Cena attempt the people's elbow? Something we knew he wasn't going to score on. I mean, The Rock wasn't going to lose to his own maneuver in Miami, his home state. There would have been a riot. So, you know, I just don't know. I really don't know. The Undertaker not competing again just doesn't seem right to me. I mean, with how many big names we have coming back to WWE, re-signing from Lesnar to Chris Jericho here at the beginning of the year, I don't see The Undertaker going away and